Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So, as you probably noticed, I've been gone a little while. I went to Thailand and I had a great time. And yeah, a lot has changed since I come back. So obviously from the title and the thumbnail, you can probably guess what's happened. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let you watch exactly what I've done up until now. As I did a lot before I went on holiday, and then I'm going to explain everything afterwards. So I hope you all enjoy this, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and subscribe if you are new. Back on it now, plenty to come, and yeah, enjoy it, and I'll catch you afterwards. Right, so we are currently working on the tailgate, and if any of you have fitted a wiring loom up into a tailgate, you know it's a tricky job to do. So basically, we've got to get this wiring loom, all thick clips and wires, through the tailgate, through this hole here, making its way through into this hole, and then through and up into these holes here. So we've got to get quite a thick wiring loom between this section here of tailgate. So at the factory, they normally run the wires and then fit the glass in afterwards. So of course you can see the issue we have here. So what I've got is some welding wire here. This is just some thin copper wire, and you can do this a couple of ways. Some people use zip ties, but all you need is basically a rigid, thin sort of tool, basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this copper wire through this, up through here, or down through here first. And then what I'm going to do is actually masking tape, and this is why I was sort of confused why there's so much masking tape around this wiring loom. And this tailgate must have been taken off beforehand, and I feel like this is why we might have an issue with our boot not opening and closing. So what I've been told to do is potentially open up this wiring loom and see if we've got any issues with the wires. But the other issue could be the fact that we don't have the correct key. We have just the fob without the buttons or the central locking. So we're currently just locking the one door, and it doesn't lock the rest of the car. So I feel like we may have to buy a new key or get a key programmed to basically get the central locking to work, and then we may have a button for the boot. So this is an issue we are having, and if anyone's had this issue before, please let me know in the comments. But we will definitely get to the bottom of this at some point. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. So I'm going to let you know how I do when I do. Let's go. Right, so wiring loom is through the tailgate now. All that I have to do now is hook up all the wires to where they need to go. So what we did in the end was I got this one end on the end of the drill, and then pliers on the other end, and I twisted it up, as you can see, just to give the wire a bit more strength, so we could push the wire in from one end and then tug from the other. So yeah, definitely a good half-hour job just to get these wires through. Used a lot of masking tape just to basically mask up all the wires together, and then mask the wire around the wires. And then at the end, oops, dropped it. What you want to do is actually turn this wire back on itself and then mask it up, so it sort of catches the wires, because what will happen is that this wire will slip through some of the masking tape. So you want to just basically put an end on it and just try and get these as tightly stuck onto these wires as possible, because you will be using a lot of force to pull these wires out. So yeah, that's all done. I just got to plug them all in now and finish up building up this tailgate now. So wiring loom is up and curl connected, carpet's back, but I have tried lining up the tailgate there, and as you can sort of see, it needs to shift over a little to the right, and as you'll probably be able to tell in the gap of the brake light there, it's much tighter than it is by here. So what I'm going to do is get up under here again, loosen the bolt ever so slightly and just shift it over a little to the right, and hopefully I'll line up all right. Let's see. Right, so I've taken the seats out and this is what we've uncovered. I believe possibly a female owned this, as there is so much hair all over the carpet. I've hoovered out this little section here just on that one side, and then just decided to take the seats out as they are filthy. So this is the before, and I'll show you the after now. Right, so that's about an hour's work, completely doing the dash and the steering wheel. There's so much hair and dust all over. The carpet on this side, we need to get the debobbling sort of tool to try and get that carpet down right. But this is looking excellent now, and we've hoovered the bench. Just need to get the seats done now. It's definitely makeup and stuff like that all over the seats. The headrest was just like caked in like fake tan, but yeah, these are coming up lovely. Right, so we've got the dent puller here. It's actually a cool bit of kit. What it does, welds the ground to the body. So we've grinded back using the DeWalt mini cutter. So we've drawn a rough sort of body line there. It's not perfect, but it just gives us an idea of where we're aiming. So we've got a dent running through here. You can see some of the scrape there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow the lines that I've drawn there and get my spot weld. All you do is hold the trigger and then just get some light taps and then twist off, and we go again. You don't want to pull too much, otherwise we'll create some high spots. Maybe a bit more, but we can go over these. Again. You don't want to go through the metal. It's not going to be perfect straight away, guys. This is one of the first times I've ever done it. Spot on. Yeah. Happy days. Happy days, guys. Right, so we've just grinded that down, and I know I didn't give a very good beforehand, but I'll put a picture up on screen now of what we had before, and this is looking much better. So all we have to do now is get a few rounds of filler on there just to create the lines back to where they were, but that's what you want to do, is pull out the metal as far as possible without creating the high spots, and yeah, just fill the rest, because it's just going to be a light skim of filler. You don't want to just fill straight over a dent. You want to pull the metal out so the filler doesn't sink. So yeah, really happy. That was one of the first times I've ever used a spot welder, and I think it came out pretty good. Right, so for the part you've all been waiting for, what happened to the blue KA? So I left the KA with a good friend, and he's got a lot of experience with body repairs, stuff like that. So we tried pulling it out. So basically the brake light and the tailgate were not lining up for no love, no money. It is Cat S, as you all know. And we bought a tool called a Porta Power. So it's basically a hydraulic arm. I'll put a picture up on screen. And basically what you do, you pop it into where you need popping out, and you just hydraulically press it out, and try and adjust your panels like that. But we had no luck whatsoever with that. So we tried everything, and what we decided to do was, because of the budget and because of how much we paid for the car already, we've probably got about $1,000 into it. I was thinking, why don't I just part it out? So basically for the red one, I had to go to a breaker's yard, pick up the tailgate, rear bumper, crash bar, and I was thinking, right, we're not going to get what we want in terms of breaking it and selling it, say, on Facebook, and we can't just doctor up that back end, and we can't take it to a frame shop to get it pulled out. New panels, 300 quid, something like that, just quickly browsing. So what I was thinking was, to get the max amount of money back, not going to make too much, but we've got whole front end, interior, engine, gearbox, every little trim piece, every bolt that we need. Rear end, of course, can't use that. We've got 2 brake lights, and we can use various little parts from the back end. And if, say, I bought 2, maybe 3 KAs now, and just say bought one that was possibly unrecorded, engine blown, something like that, weekend job, just swap the engines over, as long as it's 1.2 petrol. They share the same engine with the Fiat 500, so I could either go down that route if I wanted to, but we'll see what's on Copart. And then possibly buy another KA, front end damage, possibly in the same color if we're lucky. Don't know how lucky we'll get with the auctions. And then just part it out like that. Maybe side damage, take a door. It's all stuff like that. Just try and make as much money back off the car we've already got there, and put it into projects that we can flip. Just no need to look for parts, just got the parts right there and then. And the KAs are so easy to work on. I know it'll get a bit boring in terms of watching it on the channel, but it's what I have to do personally, because it's got my cash all tied up in it. So in terms of entertainment, it's not going to be great, but I'm doing this for me and to take you along with me. So if you want to come with me, come along, but I've got to do it either way, unless any of you can suggest a better idea in the comment section down below. But frame shops, you're talking upward of £500 to pull the frame out with the new panels that need replacing. And then it's scrap value on top for scrapping the chassis, and selling whatever bits we don't use and stuff like that. So I think that's the best way to get the money back. But let me know down below, of course. I know this is getting on a bit, but as you saw, the red one is complete. I took that for an MOT, did the service in the last episode, passed with, I believe it was 1 advisory, and I think it was the shock absorber or the spring just corroded, something like that. But that's just waiting on the logbook now. I valeted it, everything. You just saw that in the clips. it's all done, looks mint, it looks gorgeous, just waiting on the logbook. And unfortunately the Royal Mail, few strikes, fair enough, can't argue with it, but we're waiting a bit longer on the logbooks. So that's how it is, guys. Bit of a pause, unfortunately. Just sorted out the alternator on my daily, that died on me. So it's all little things that are going wrong, and I can't really crack on with the things I want to. But I am cracking right on with the 92 build that I've got behind me. So we've got things going on, and I've still got the track car. Need to give you an update video on that as well. So hope you've all enjoyed this episode. Of course, I had a lot of time lapse before I went on holiday, and I'll hopefully bring you an update once that red one sells. I'll have the cash then, hopefully get another KA in, and hopefully just get them flipped, and we can start working on something new then. Wrap up this year with the 2 KAs, and hopefully start fresh with a few different builds. So I'm going to close out this episode, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Please click the thumbs up button if you did. Please press the subscribe button if you are new, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.